Shalom. And all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakak Badash, and double honor to our apostles, elders, and bishops here at Great Millstone for teaching his truth. It's going all around the earth, and shalom to the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, Atazawam from the Great Millstone here in St. Louis, and woke up this morning and praying and asking the Lord to give me a lesson or a topic to go into, and quickly, what came to my mind is obviously we know that today is so-called holiday here in Babylon the Great, and throughout the whole course of the week, as much as these people here in Babylon try to make mirth, there is no spirit of mirth here in Babylon. All right, and this is a day that they go all year waiting for, and then next month, of course. Well, this day or tomorrow will kick off their the people of Babylon. It will kick off their time to start looking to get festive for the end of the year, right? What they so-called call Christmas. And I looked at that, and in my mind, I'm like, as the scriptures tell us, that these people, it's going to be just like the days of Noah. All right, they're looking to have mirth, to have as much fun as they can. You're looking at all the different types of displays of wickedness, with the signs of trouble on the horizon, visible, and yet these people try to ignore it. With all the controversy and trouble in so-called government here, what's going on with DJT, right, Nero, the cold attitudes of the people here in this place, in this land, the selfishness of me, all of these different things that you see out of our people, really, they're known as the 2/3, right? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, not willing to understand, or not able to understand is what I should say. Not able to understand the time that you're living in, right? And the scriptures have forewarned that these days would come. Okay, so everything is upside down here in Babylon. Okay, everything is this right is wrong, you see, and it's promoted here. And from everything from working a job to your government to your resources to your food, it's all corrupted. Okay, and the scriptures told us to look for these signs, right? Because we're living in an age of just about total disbelief, okay? Particularly when it comes to our people, right? These are signs that the righteous of the Lord, right, which we call ourselves the hopeful elect, are able to cue on, right? We're able to see these signs when everyone else among us, they don't see it, okay? So that's kind of where I'm going today. I don't know, got 8 or 9 scriptures to go through real quick, but just to show that these are those days that were spoken of long ago, and how Yahweh Hashem Yahushai had once destroyed the earth, right? He had once destroyed major cities, all right, for the same thing, for the rebellion, for the wickedness, for the disbelief, right, or being an unbeliever, being unrighteous, and so on, all right? And it starts from your leaders on down, okay? Some who are what they call today pastors, but they're false prophets. And you got them in almost every sect. It doesn't matter what the sect is, whether it's Islam, whether it's Christianity, even in this thing as as our apostle Gabar says, this thing of ours, right? Who are liars, who are deceivers, manipulators, right? Making merchandise of their own brothers and sisters. You see. So with that, that's how we're gonna jump into this thing. I'm gonna get to it real quick. This is 1 Peter. We'll just jump in at verse 8. And all these scriptures you can go back and read in their entirety, right? But I'm just going to try to get to the points as best I can. So you all bear with me. This is 1 Peter 3:8. It says, finally be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, right? And you really don't see that anymore. You see that really amongst the true brothers, that you see this, but everybody else is out for self, right? Verse 9, not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips that they speak no guile. Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil, right? And so we're living in these evil days, and so the Most High is against them, no matter who they are, right? We know that the wicked is going to be the wicked because that's who they are, right? 2/3 of our people are going to be the 2/3 because they're unbelievers, and that's who they are. Okay, and the righteous, we see them, and we eschew the evil, and we stay away from them. Salakia. It's early in the morning. I'm trying to drink a little bit of warm water and lime to wake my body up. Okay, going on, it says, verse 13, and who is he that will harm you if you be followers of that which is good? But and if ye suffer for righteousness' sakes, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. But sanctify the Lord power in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear, right? So we give you an answer as to why we believe what we believe, okay? And it may not be for you, okay? Let's go on to verse 16. It says, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you, as of evildoers, they may be ashamed and falsely accuse your good conversation in Mashiach. For it is better if the will of the Mashiach be so, that ye suffer for well-doing than for evil-doing, right? And so we get cursed out by people on the comment boards, by people who walk up to the camp and so on, people driving by the camp, yelling out of the window while they driving by, cursing us out, so on and so forth, all right? And all we do is good. We preach the truth of the gospel to you, okay? And it don't cost you nothing, all right? Verse 18, for the Mashiach also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to the Most High, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, which sometime were disobedient, when once the long suffering of the Most High waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls, were saved by the water, right? So it even goes into the times of Noah, right? Which is going to be the theme, okay? Because the Lord told us, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be in his coming. See, so let's go over. Let's see here. Salakia. Let's jump in right here at verse 36, Matthew 24:36. It says, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, and one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding in the mill. The one shall be taken, and the other left. Right? Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord cometh. Right? So we're preparing for the coming of our Lord, but the whole point is the amount of wickedness that was going on during that time of so-called mirth, right? Eating and drinking and celebrating and rioting and so on and so forth is what you see during this time. And it's happening all around the world. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is, one, look at the United States, and then look at what goes on over there in Tel Aviv, and then look at all these people who travel over there to Dubai to go shopping and all this other shit that they do over there. And then those that travel to Paris and Spain and so on and so forth, right? People are just going all around the earth trying to find ways of enjoying themselves and having, spending their money and their time, doing frivolous things. They're not looking out for the coming of the Lord. And here we'll find it also in Luke 17, and let's read it. And it says, because it reads a little bit different. It says here, verse 22, and he said unto the disciples, the days will come when ye shall desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and ye shall not see it. And they shall say to you, see here or see there, go not after them, nor follow them, right? For as the lightning that lighteth out of the one part under heaven shineth unto the other part under heaven, so shall also the Son of Man be in his day. But first must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. All right. And even now today, 2/3 of our people, because we don't care about the other nation people. All right. 2/3 of our people have rejected the Lord. Okay. And they're not looking for his coming. Okay. And that's this generation. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife, right? So you remember that she turned back and was turned into a pillar of salt, right? Because she was longing for those things that would be left behind, longing for the lifestyle, the riches that Lot had, okay, when she was instructed not to look back, okay? And that's what people are doing today, right? They're looking at the fact that, well, I don't want to leave here and not have enjoyed myself. So this is why you got all these wicked social platforms, which, by the way, are mostly, if not all, owned by Amalek, right? Got you jakes out there going off, especially you women, okay? Out there showing your body. You going to the gym with all these tight clothes on that accentuates your body, your hips, and so on. And then you don't want men to look at you, and you're doing it all for social media likes and content. And so it's just wicked. Okay. All right. So this is the generation that we're living in. Now, quickly, let's just run over to Genesis 6 and read a little bit about Noah, right, and what was going on in their days. Okay, since the New Testament refers so much to Lot and Noah to give you an indicator as to how things are going to be in the last days before Yahushua returns. Okay, verse 6, Genesis 6 and 5, it says, "And the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both men and beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man, right? He was a perfect man in the eyes of the Lord, and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with the Most High. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before the Most High, and the earth was filled with violence. And the Elohim looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. You see? So things were corrupt in that time. You see? And it goes into the story of how he made the ark and so on. Now, if we jump to chapter 7, and we start here at 1, you see chapter 7 here, and it talks about the flood. All right, like I said, you could always go back and read these chapters, all right? And this chapter, we might have to read all of it. Let me see, it's 20-something verses. Yeah, we might have to go through all of it, right, just to give you an indicator. And as you read it, you think about what's going on in the earth today, okay? Let's start here, verse 1. It says, And the Lord Yahweh said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have sent righteous before me, Salakia. For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation, right? So the generation or the peoples were corrupted, all right? For every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7s, the male and his female, and the beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female, all right? So it goes into collecting of the beasts of the fields, right? And let's jump down to, let's see here. Let's jump to verse 7. It says, And Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood, of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as Elohim had commanded Noah. And it came to pass, which are the powers, by the way, and it came to pass after 7 days, the waters of the flood were upon the earth, right? In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month and 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the selfsame day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. They and every beast after their kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, and every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in, male and female of all flesh, as Elohim had commanded them, and the Lord shut them in, right? So it was basically what you're looking at is the redemption, right, of righteousness, of a righteous man, right? And even to his kids, that righteousness extended to his entire family, right? So again, a remnant being saved, many destroyed, and the Lord had a remnant. Just as it will be in these days coming, there's a remnant that the Lord is going to save. All right. Verse 18, And the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went upon the face of the waters, and the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle and of beasts and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, you see, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died. All right. Verse 23, and every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things and the fowls of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. And so when the Lord destroys this place by fire, all right, particularly Babylon the Great, there'll be other places in the world that will be hit and will have trouble, right? But you have to remember the coming of the Lord is to destroy the wicked and to redeem his elect from among them. Okay, and this is an indicator, right, as to how terrifying things are going to be, because you know those people back in them days wanted to be saved once they saw that rain coming, you see. Yeah, but it was too late, because they were reveling in the earth. They were having a good time. They was doing whatever they wanted to do, doing it with whomever they wanted to do it with, okay, all those types of things. And this is how people are living today, okay. And there's going to come, the coming of the Lord is going to be without an announcement, okay. So this is why the righteous watch for it and pray, okay. Where I want to go to here. This is 2 Peter. Which this whole chapter is, man, we could read the whole chapter. Let's start at the top. Because this is also, Peter is also describing what's going on in the earth and what's going to happen, okay, between those that are unrighteous and those that are righteous. What's going to happen to them, okay? We can start at the top. 2 Peter 2:1, it says, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. Right? And you're seeing that, the evidence of that now. It started even way back in their days, right, when they began to go abroad and preach the gospel. And you see it even today, okay? Verse 3, and through covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, right, in these bodies, and delivered them into the chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, right? Salakia. Verse 5, and spared not the old world, see? So even back then, which is what Peter's referring to, what we just read, right? All those that were wicked and evil back then in those days, they were not spared, okay? And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. So they were ungodly then, they're ungodly now, right? They were ungodly in the days of Noah, they were ungodly in the days of Lot. Okay, and the Lord has to bring an end to it. But this is going to be the ultimate, all right? Because what comes after that is the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua upon the earth. Verse 6, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ash, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly, right? And you can just imagine what they were doing back then, because all you have to do is refer to today and what you see, right? What you see all on social media, what you see out there as you walk around, what you see if you're a brother that goes to the gym. I don't go to gyms. I work out in my house, or I go to a high school track and get my miles in, or whatever I do. I don't go to a gym, you see, because I don't want to be around all of that. But, some brothers go to the gym. Verse 7, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, for that righteous man dwelling among them, and seeing and hearing vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment, to be punished. See? But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise government, presumptuous are they, self-willed, they are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. And you got a lot of people who are like that today. They hate the men of the Lord, right? They don't understand what we're doing, but they hate you anyway. All right, and it generally will start with a brother coming to the truth. It generally will start with your own friends and family who just turn on you, right? Because you try to bring the gospel to them. Verse 11, whereas angels, which are greater in power and might, bring not railing accusations against them before the Lord, but these, as natural brute beasts, right, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not. Right, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they that count it pleasure to ride in the daytime. Spots they are and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you. You see, you got a lot of these, people who call themselves being in the truth. What are they doing? They're traveling all around the world, right? Going all over into Ghana, right? You know what I'm talking about. Trying to make disciples, right? When the Lord didn't tell you to do that, right? We have the internet that does that, okay? But for a show to the congregation, you want it to seem like you just doing the will of the Lord, and you don't even use the Lord's name. Figure that out. Anyway, verse 14, having eyes full of adultery, and that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, and heart they have exercised with covetous practices, cursed children, which have forsaken the right way and are gone astray, following after Balaam the son of Bozor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass speaking with man's voice forbid, and madness of the prophet. These are wells without water, clouds that are carried with a tempest, to whom the mist of darkness is reserved forever, right? So you people who practice all of this, you're going to be destroyed. You're not going to make the chariots, okay? And the work that you think that you're doing, is not going to be there to speak any words for you, to get you delivered, okay? Because certain of you out there, who love to wear gold and purple, you don't even use the name of the Lord. All right. Verse 18, for when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness, those that were clean escape from them who live in error. All right. And pretty much that's it. We can go on to the next, the next point. Salakia. And so when the flood came and it destroyed the earth, okay, the Lord made a covenant that said that he would not destroy the earth anymore with rain, right? But we see throughout the scriptures how the Lord is going to destroy by fire, all right? And you got these weirdos, LBGHIJK people who have hijacked the Lord's rainbow for their cause, right? Which is wickedness. Again, that's what's being spoken of in the scriptures, how the Lord is going to destroy the wicked, right? Who take the good things and turn it into evil. Okay? So this is Genesis 9 and 8, and it reads, and the Most High spake unto Noah and to his sons, or the Elohim, spoke to his son with, let me start over. And Elohim spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, and I behold and establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, of every beast of the earth with you, for all that go out of the ark to every beast to the earth, and I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all the flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Right? So he won't do it by flood anymore. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And Elohim said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass that when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a cloud to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between Elohim and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And the Most High said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all the flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah that went forth out of the ark, Shem and Ham and Japheth, and Ham is the father of Canaan. So we can stop right there. The whole point being that the Lord made a covenant with the earth through what you call the rainbow. All right. And anymore now, when you look up in the sky, and the sky is all gray, and you don't see any breaks in the cloud, that's not a cloud, right? That's them spraying that shit down on top of us, blocking out the sun. All right. So now you know that the Lord said that the waters will not destroy the earth and the living creatures upon it, but in the last days it shall be destroyed by fire, and particularly Babylon the Great will be destroyed by fire. All right. Let's go to Revelation 18:4, and it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And her is Babylon the Great, right? That great whore that sitteth upon the scarlet beast. Okay? In the cup which she hath filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself, and have lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow, right? And that's the pride of the people that run this place, right? Chiefly Amalek from the other side of the world, right? Who are controlling all the finances, pulling the purse strings, if you will, you know, your Rockefellers, your Rothschilds, DuPonts, Gettys, Oppenheimers, so on and so forth. They corrupt stock markets and so on, okay? Who go out there and put sin and death in the earth, right, to control the people, right? Now, they get the power through the left-hand side of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, of course, but that's what their business is in the earth. All right, verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judges her, right? And so when you think of it in a different manner, just like there's a law about a witch, right? She's to be burned with fire, right? So this place is filled with witchcraft, and these people on the left-hand side, these principalities on the left-hand side, they deal with left-hand magic, right? They use witchcraft upon us, right, to control and manipulate certain situations and governments and so on and so forth, all right? I think that's pretty much all I wanted out of there, just to show you the contrast of how this next how the next destruction is going to be, right? That fire. And what is that fire? The nuclear weapons. Okay, Jeremiah 51:1, it says, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. And that wind is the nuclear energy, right? And then, of course, the coming of our Lord and the laser beams and the chariots and so on. Okay? And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about, against him that bendeth let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and these Edomites can be looked at as also the Chaldeans, right? And they that are thrust through in the streets, for Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, of the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul, spiritually that is. Be not cut off in her iniquities, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken, right? All dealing with all the nations with all its foreign policies. Okay? The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad, right? Taking on its nasty, filthy, whorish ways. All right? Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, for if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one to his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies, right? And we read that in Revelation about her sins going up into heaven, you see? All right, let's read verse 10. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord Yahweh, our power. All right? Because there's going to be an end brought to this place. Let's see here. Let's go to Isaiah 34. And it reads at verse 1, Come now, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that are therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, and hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Right, that's that nuclear fire, okay? When you see it in those old films when they were testing atom bombs and hydrogen bombs, you see it roll up together. All right. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. Right. And didn't John the Revelator say he saw in his vision what? The stars falling like a fig tree shaken of a mighty wind. Paraphrasing it. Okay. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Right. And so Idumea, as we know, is a Greek way of saying the Edomites, right? And their rulership, okay? And we get these last two, and we'll be done here. It's Revelation 6 and start right here, verse 12. It says, And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. What's causing that earthquake, right? Well, these warheads, these nuclear warheads. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell upon the earth, even as a fig tree cast her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. There it is right there. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of her places, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, right? So even all of these people that they march in front of you on a weekly basis with their suit and ties on and their thin lips and them beady, evil eyes that are soulless, right? And try to tell you what government is and what government is going to do and how we're going to do this and how we're going to do that. And all of them are worth $500-600 million or more. Okay, these are the people that are over you, right? When the wrath of the Lord comes, they're going to be trying to find a way to hide. They're going to try to find a way to even kill themselves. They ain't going to be able to do it. You see? All right. Last verse, for the great day of the wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Right. So, there's terrible times coming, but we see now by the signs, okay, that are in the earth, all right, that it's very, very near. This is Malachi 4:1, and it reads, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble, right? That's all your world economic leaders, your WEF, all of these people who deem themselves to be the gods of the earth, right? To control the other 7.9 billion souls on the earth, if that's an accurate number, right? These handful of people think that they have a right, right? Who chiefly is the tribe of Amalek, have a right to decide how they're going to cull on the earth, who's going to eat, who's going to receive medical care, who's going to work, who's not going to work, so on and so forth, playing God in the earth, all right? While 2/3 of you jakes out there, you trying to have a good time, and you don't see the danger and destruction that's coming your way. Back in verse 1, it says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall try down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua of hosts. Okay? So that day is coming, and those that are doing righteousness in the earth, right, to the best of your ability, we call ourselves, like we say, the hopeful elect, that the Lord will have mercy upon us and redeem us as he did in the days of Noah. So you have the contrast of what was going on in the days of Noah and Lot, right, and destruction in a certain particular way that the Lord did it. You have that, but you also have the redeeming of the righteous, and so shall it be in this day. That's what Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was saying. It's going to be just about in the same way. Everything will be done in a different manner, but yet you still have those that do wickedly, unrighteous, who are going to be destroyed, and then the very few that will be saved, and destruction will play out upon the earth. All right. So through the Spirit, I did this lesson this morning. So, Lord willing, it was edifying. And for those of us, who continue on in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, may it be a comfort to you. All right. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Shalom.